Hey, what's going on, brothers? Thanks for tuning into the Wrol, the Real, the Red Pill. And on this dialogue, I'm going to discuss something that many brothers before me have discussed, and it's something that is inevitable. And in all truth and reality, it will affect one gender more than the other. And that is the shit hitting the fan. And I believe this will be the fall of the matriarchy, the fall of feminism. And we all know before one social structure rises, before one kingdom rises, per se, in the social structures that are within the ideologies of that kingdom, the previous one must fall. And I don't know if you all have been paying attention, but essentially the West is falling. You know, and it's just something we got to come to terms with. It is also prophesied. You know, this is the last kingdom here on earth before the next one to come, which will be an eternal one. You know, but we're approaching a time that will be like never before, nor will it be like again. And many of us men in general have, if you're wise at all, have been taking certain precautions, even small precautions, to get ready for this event, whether it be collecting precious metals from a large to a small scale, doesn't matter, whether it's storing up on rice or goods, or whether it's storing up on militant goods, such as rifles, handguns, and things of that nature, ammunition. All of these things will behoove you in the times to come, but we're going to try to focus on the realities, the various realities for the woman in general, and especially, unfortunately, the Black American woman. You know, it's going to be real bad for her. They don't know what's coming for them because they've been in this feminist structure for so long. It seems like a normality for them. They don't consider, you know, and I made a video about that. They don't consider, but they don't consider, you know, shit hitting the fan in other places all around the world, such as, for example, you know, we can refer to Haiti. You know, we can refer to, you know, when they had their earthquake, the real bad earthquake they had some time ago. And what was the outcome of the woman? Come on now, you know what the UN peacekeepers were doing. You know, they're notorious for UN peacekeepers. The Blue Helmets had many charges against them for child sex abuse. Man, we have Pizzagate going on with these children being sold and into the sex rings. You know. And it's so obvious. And it's like if the media doesn't repeatedly hammer things into the minds of and they actually do hammer ideologies and thoughts into the minds of a woman, but in the public in general. But it's the things that are irrelevant, and it is the things that are actually lies. But one thing that did come up during the Donald Trump presidential elections was Hillary Clinton's buddy Anthony Weiner, and how he got caught with all this child pornography and things of that nature on his computer. We have Jared Fogle with Subway. It seems to be a serious trend of this, and that's definitely going to play a particular role within shit hitting the fan, because if these things are going on in judicial law and within judicial structure, how much more so when there is no law and there is no structure, and all you have is what you have. You know, when all you have is your beliefs, and when all you have is what you stand for. And it's quite obvious at this point, you know, in this Western Hemisphere, that people pretty much stand for evil and things that are not right and things that are not righteous at all. You know, wickedness is loved here. So what the Black American woman doesn't understand is the various evils that come to women, solely to women, most of the time, in these shit hit the fan moments. Shit hit the fan has been a repetitive happening within various societies all around the world. It is just something that continuously happens. If you go to Libya right now, there's chattel slavery going on due to the you know, the ISIS propaganda that we all know that the CIA and the American government is behind, you know, keeping the Middle East destabilized and things of that nature. It's shit hitting the fan now. How are women faring out? If we go to Venezuela and Argentina and these places where it's mass inflation and famine, you know, how are women making out? You know, where's these strong, independent women at? It's a fantasy. It's essentially a lie that unfortunately our woman believed in for the last 50 years. You know, and that lie is going to be exposed for what it is, unfortunately, to her own demise when this current society that we live in America, the bread box of the world, collapses. And just to clear this up real quick, this is going to have to be, I'm going to have to give a discretion with this, because I'm going to just call it and tell you how I see it will be, and it will be rooted in the reality of some of the occurrences that affected women throughout shit hitting the fan events throughout the world. You know, essentially, the fall of the matriarchy and the fall of feminism will be epic in that time. And the sad part is that the black woman is so brainwashed, and the many women in general. But, you know, we all know statistically the black woman is the most single bitch amongst all the bitches here. So, you know, that plays a huge role, even though a lot of white women and a lot of Asian women, well, not so many, a lot of other nations of women, because many of them are in line and are under a patriarchal structure. But, essentially, the black woman is at the higher percentile of not having a man in the house and not needing a man and not wanting the black man. But, you know, when shit hits the fan, you know, in an economic collapse situation, the feminist structure will essentially and entirely collapse. If we even consider now, you know, I just saw a video not too long ago, a few videos. You know, we had that Indian pizza shop owner guy who was who just lost his wits and started choking this BAW. You know, and he was like, you know, I said please. You know, he was choking this bitch, slamming her head in the ground. You know, you have and the sad thing is, you know, I don't even consider her victims in many of these situations because, you know, because of the way she thinks. She believes in feminism and believes that there's no punishments or anything that should become of her for her errors and how she conducts herself. There is no guideline for conduct with the black woman. Her conduct is essentially being utterly and entirely off a leash and doing whatever she impulsively feels with no regard or thought to what is right or wrong. And we all know the natural nature of woman, unguided, unled, is to do what is wrong. We must understand this. In this way, impartiality is part of how she is the weaker vessel overall, you know? But here we have judicial structure, we have law, you know, we have 3 magical buttons she can dial to pretty much get you fucked up out here for correcting her or, you know, giving her that domestic discipline or domestic correction. And here we live in a society right now that has not yet utterly collapsed, and she's already getting heat. You know, she's already getting fucked up out here. So how much more so when these protective means for her are no longer available? You know, if you go on the internet, you can pretty much get a good view of black culture, you know, for the most part. Because for the most part, black culture, when you observe the woman, our woman is in seduction and sexual exploitation of herself. And that's going to play a big role when shit hits the fan. And the reason being is because a woman walk around wanting to be sexy all the time, for one. You know, and not sexy in a good way, not a classy sexy. I'm talking about, you know, the wardrobe being leggings that you can see through, showing her thong, or even if she even has any underwears on under them leggings in the sunlight, to where you can see the flesh of her ass, the skin on her ass. You know, in any raw society where there is no feminist structure or ideologies there, that woman is a walking rape victim, essentially. Because men have a particular nature to them, whether right or wrong, is what it is. And that's one of the things that we're going to have to accept in the times to come, because people are not going to give a fuck about what is right or wrong in that day for the most part, but they're going to only care about survival. You know? And this is why we have some of the more intelligent BAWs who realize, or have some type of inkling of an ideal that this system is about to fold. You see more and more of them starting to trying to make amends. I don't know about you, but personally with me, I happen to notice that I'm getting more friendlier looks here and there, you know, throughout my day. I'm getting more, you know, interaction and engagement amongst these BAWs, you know, involuntarily so, with no effort of my own. So they're starting to realize that they might need a little protection out here, but how much so? But you know, MGTOW's already bumping, man. Ibmor's already popping, man. His brothers are already, and the men in general are already kind of hip to the games and the bullshit and the 50 years of it. And guys aren't too giddy about losing their resources, even if it is over a little bit till. You know, but one of the biggest things that's going to happen for this woman is going to be rape. You know, this woman is going to be raped and ravished because of the exploitation of her sexuality and the reputation that she has given herself amongst the world via the World Wide Web. We must understand this. You know, go on any internet site, and you know, it's not going to be too long before you see a black woman shaking her ass. It's all over World Star Hip Hop. It's all over Fly Height. It's all over, you know, YouTube. You see these things. That's her MO. You know, black woman, big ass, shaking it online. You know, and these other nations and people see it, and she doesn't understand that in the day of martial law, see, and some of us brothers might not know this, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it. In the days of collapse, when martial law is instituted, and it really gets bad out here, we're gonna have a lot of foreign soldiers on this soil. Our government has been militarized in the DHS under Obama's regime, under his administration, ordering 1.7 billion rounds of hollow point ammo. You know, everybody's getting militarized, and they extended military positions and private contracting to foreign nations. What sense does it make moving your supposed enemy on your homeland? You know, and the logic behind it is that American soldiers won't necessarily an American soldier won't be as quick to kick in the door, plunder a house, rape, pillage, slaughter, even though they do this all over the rest of the world, but they're not going to want to do this to their own people. You know, rape, pillage, slaughter, and throw you in a paddy wagon and send you to a FEMA camp. You know, that's not what's gonna, that's not the MO for American soldiers. And a lot of American soldiers are looked at as red listed threats because they know a little bit too much. You know, a lot of soldiers come back with PTSD and certain emotional traumas and issues because they've seen too much, they know too much, and their eyes have been opened to themselves being pawns to a bigger scheme, you know, at the cost of the bloodshed of other nations in which the United States have gone over and dominated. Now these other nations are pretty much stepping aside from America, and ironically, America had contracted and hired many of these other nations as not as a whole, but as individuals. You know, they're like sleeper cells right now. I don't know, at least personally for me, you know, I'm kind of when I meet people, I cut in. You know, I want to see what angles they work in. I try to see what type of person I'm around, what I'm dealing with. So I'll cut in, but I just started a new job. I was working with Cisco Baltimore, you know, for the last almost 2 years. That's where I was working when I first started this channel. And I don't work there no more, so, who gives a shit, I mean, hey, it is what it is. But I was working with Cisco Baltimore, and I had many co-workers. It was one guy, I'm gonna call him, fuck it out. His name was Alex. There's many Alexes out here. But his name was Alex, and he was a Russian guy. He was had military experience. Okay. There's another guy, I actually forgot this dude's name, but he was an African dude. I think he was from Ghana, he was from Ghana, and he just came over here, working with the company, but he was from he was trained in the military over here. So I'm starting to notice, and I don't know if y'all peep this, but it's a lot of Arab people starting to pop up around here. From what I've noticed, at least in the DMV area, the last maybe 10 or so years, there's been a lot more burqas and hijabs on these women out here, signifying particular identifiers of her family being here all of a sudden. Ironically, we had that situation with the immigration crisis, with not only with the Hispanic community, but even before that, with the Middle East, when ISIS was growing in the Syrian and Libyan territories. Some of those people came over here too, and we have a lot of sleeper cells here that are going to be activated, and these people are not going to give two shits about these women in general, because one of the rules to war is that women and children are spoils to war. Unfortunately, these women, especially the Black American woman, what she's going to find herself in is in a situation where she's going to have 10 to 20 to 30 to 40 to 100 men ready to run a train on her in the middle of the night, and torment her and torture her. And all it is recompense from the things that America used to do to other nations. So these other sleeper cells that are here that will be activated, even these UN troops that will be over here on these streets, shutting it down, doing gun grabs, kicking in doors. Please do look into the red list and the blue list. All the surveillance and tracking that's going on is for a purpose, and is eventually going to pop off. And when it does, us men are gonna a lot of the men are gonna be put to death. It's going to be a time like never before. And the ones who will go first will be the ones who were unprepared. Unfortunately, those who never seen it coming. And, of course, we all know this BAW does not see it coming because she does not consider. She doesn't consider. So it's going to hit her very hard. And it's going to be bad. People don't think about Fukushima. I believe that's going to play a role, and this already is playing a role. How that Japanese nuclear plant that got affected by the earthquake, knocking down nuclear waste into the ocean, into the Atlantic Ocean. That if I lived on the West Coast, California, Mexico. I would say even Texas too, Washington State, any of those states along the western hemisphere of the United States of America, I wouldn't even consider eating any seafood out of there because it's nuclear. But since the news isn't talking about it, and since the media isn't talking about it, they're not talking about the billions of metric tons of nuclear waste that's dumping into the water. In the next 10 years, that can lead to a serious issue because it's still polluted. Of course, no one gives a shit now. Of course, no one cares now. But I believe this is why the government has amplified the food cloning and GMO aspects of our food and agriculture, because they know it's not going to be able to sustain itself naturally anymore. Do y'all remember when those fish, the hundreds and thousands of fish, were just floating belly up in the water? Why do you think? Fukushima. Did y'all remember when all them birds, thousands and hundreds of thousands of birds, were just dropping dead? Why do you think? Introspective black men of reform. We must think and we must consider. And we must be aware, first and foremost, The The news and the media is not going to tell you everything. And it's not in the woman to be introspective. It's not in her to be a planner, a protector, a provider. You know, it's not really solely in her to be prepared for all of these things that come. And that's what's going to be so bad about it. We all know that benefits are going to get cut. And what she's going to do, the same thing they did the first time they cut it in this, I think it was Alabama. I keep getting this confused, but I believe it was Alabama. It was one of the southern states they had cut or it might have been Georgia. They cut off the food stamps for like 2 days, man. And it was rioting, looting, breaking windows, stealing shit, like a TV has anything to do with what you're going to put in your stomach. You know, there was a lot of this craziness going on. And what do you think is going to happen when all these things fall indefinitely? A lot of these women are going, in that day and time, are going to be every means of which they count on for them to proclaim their independence. Yet every means of the things that they are dependent on will be cut off from them. And the first thing they're going to do is what most women do. They're going to bitch, cry, kick their feet, throw a fit. And this time when it happens, when her and her simps weren't out there, you know, to, give the world at large a piece of their mind and a piece of their complaining, these militarized troops who are aware of what's going on are going to be following their orders. And they're going to de-escalate it very quickly with much violence. You know, Micah 7:10. You know, that my eyes shall behold her and should be trodden down like the mire of the street. This shit is going to get real for her. You know, all the means of which she can claim her independence, but you know, these things that she is ironically dependent on, is going to be torn from her. And at that moment, she's going to seek refuge, but it's not going to be here for her, man. When the next world war, and we see the brink of it, we see what these other nations are doing, if you are truly introspective and paying attention, you know, every war, and I did say this in the other video, but every war that the United States has been pretty much involved in ever since 9/11, you know, that I can recall, you know, my generation, was over the devaluation and the abandonment of the Federal Reserve in the oil trade concerning the Federal Reserve. All these other countries are refusing to deal with the white man's money. His system is about to fall here. NASDAQ fell last Friday. NASDAQ, the Dow, the stocks in general. These companies took a nosedive, man. That evening, I sold all my shares. I'm done with the stock market now because I'm aware that even if it does rebound, one day it's gonna fall and it's not going to rebound. And people find it so far-fetched, they don't consider the early 40s during the Great Depression. You understand? But this time, this war, the war that is coming to be this time around, and it's even prophesied, it's not going to work out to the favor of the Westerners. You understand? And it's a good thing that it shouldn't. It shouldn't, because it's wicked here. You understand? And judgments are lined up for this place. But if we go to the book of Revelations, when it talks about Babylon being America, the place that is spiritually Babylon and Sodom and Gomorrah, you know, it says, depart from her or partake of her plagues. You know, Ibmor, a lot of his brothers are waking up. We're deconstructing our minds to different ideologies and westernized constructs. We don't want, you know, we're separating ourselves spiritually. You need to separate yourself in every which way, but mostly spiritually, you know, and in the observations of the things that are going on here. But, you know, if the black woman hasn't, she's holding hands with this motherfucker over here. So because of the rule of the law, she's going to have to take the destruction with this place. You know, that recompense that has to come against this place, she's going to have to receive of it as well, unfortunately. And sense of community is going to be a big thing, and it's going to be sad because our community, we have no community. And it's going to affect the black woman more than anything. You know, when that chick is walking down the street with them tight ass leggings on, and you can see her undergarments and the flesh of her ass. You know, you can see her breast all through her clothes, walking around in spandex and leotards, man. Come on, man. We see this shit. You know, we can't correct her because then we're slut shaming. We can't tell her, you know, that. But when the matriarch falls and when feminism fails and when shit hits the fan and she comes out like that, this bitch will be getting snatched up by her hair by some man who's going to use her as a vessel of pleasure, which essentially is really that's a portion of what women are for men. You know, am I condoning rape? I'm not going to say that. I'm not. But I'm condoning reality, and I'm condoning the truth, and I'm condoning logical thinking. Our women are highly sexualized, and they're going to be getting brutalized and fucked up out here, man. You know? It's not going to be good for them. Their children, the bastard children, are going to be hungry, man. You understand? And unfortunately, when this RFID chip come out, I'm going to keep it a buck. Most of our women, most of the black women, because they're so dependent, they flock to whatever power is that be. Most of these black women, I promise you, quote unquote, they're going to be saying this. A lot of these black women, when it's RFID, and it's already out, so I can't say when it does come out, but when it is forcefully implemented amongst America, and, you know, eventually the world, you're going to hear this phrase right here. The Lord knows my heart. These black bitches are going to be, you're going to hear that. Because they're stupidly going to take it. But they lie to themselves because they know not the truth. The only truth they get is through the leadership of a man that they are following. And our women don't have no men to follow. And the men that they do follow don't got any damn truth in them either, because they was raised by single mothers. They are attracted to whom they breed, with whom they breed. That's the, you know, but in the times to come, it's not going to be too good for this woman, man. And it's going to be sad. It's going to be sad to see this shit, to hear the screams in the ghettos of Gurkha troops and UN troops and certain contractors such as Black Ice running up in these communities, and man, they might be playing rock paper scissors to see who gets to go to the ghetto. These platoons, they're going to want to come to the black community. Why? Because we have no organization. Why? You know, it's a rowdy bunch, but it's also an effeminized bunch. It's also a soft community. It's also a non-militant community. You understand? They'd rather come here than go to some hick town with a bunch of white dudes, because these dudes got AR-15s and fucking slide fires and 308 NATOs, and you know, them guys are gonna be ready to go to war, and it's gonna be a civil war. There's gonna be a lot of different dynamics to this shit hitting the fan, between famine, between the value of the dollar collapsing, between civil wars being race wars, and wars, it's gonna be race wars, you know, when essentially the white race, and we just had a KKK rally in Washington DC, so you know, a lot of y'all motherfuckers is racist. And, you know, the Wrol, the Real, the Red Pill gonna get with it. But in that time. But what I'm saying is, you know, it's gonna be war on many different dynamic scales. It's gonna be civil war concerning the people in general against the militant forces that are trying to enforce martial law and enforce these new codes that are gonna be coming pretty much, you know, Rex 84 and Agenda 21. You know, these FEMA camps, you know, the paddy wagon, you know, the mass enslavement and the mass indefinite incarceration, thanks to Obama, National Defense Authorizational Act. Yes, he signed it himself. You know, it's going to be race wars with different nations of people rising up against one another, killing and for resources. And, I think that's going to be a time where black people are going to, at least black men, because black women ain't going to do shit but lay on their backs and whine and cry. But I think that's going to be a time where black men actually do kind of come together, man. But honestly, it might be a little too late. It might be a little too late. It might be a little bit too late. But, you know, 2/3 of us are going to get cut off, man. 2/3 of our people ain't going to make it. They're going to get caught up in this. In this pool of death that is heading for this place. This place is going to be a place of death. You know, I watch certain movies with my daughter to desensitize her mind to death. You understand? Movies like Bushwick. She saw it. 4 years old. I make her watch it with me. I'm like, baby, you need to see this because one day it's going to be like this, baby. You know, you got to teach your kids, man. You know, you gotta let them know what the deal is, because a lot of these women are gonna fall apart. They're gonna be, you know, you're gonna see a lot of women out here, man, traumatized, you know, PTSD for real. You know, you're gonna see a lot of women who are rape victims. You're just gonna see them talking to the, I've seen it. Especially the homeless. Man, I'm gonna record a video of Angry MGTOW, a video I came across of Angry MGTOW, and he was talking about, you know, homelessness for women. These bitches is getting raped. You know, I used to make deliveries in DC, and I still do, but you know, when I was with Cisco Baltimore, and I used to go to Safeway 4 a.m. every morning, you know, and get it was a Starbucks in there. I get my Starbucks, you know, I get my little donut or egg spinach wrap or whatever. And it was always a homeless woman, man. It was a black woman. She pushed the cart. She came in every day at 4 o'clock, and she was just demonically upset, demonically deranged, demonically, like, you know, she had a hatred within her, you know, and it seemed incurable. You know, she was so angry. You know, she was this, you know, short, stout hair. You know, she had the Frederick Douglass hair. You know, shit all kind of wild. You know, she had very large breasts, no bra. She never wore a bra, so them shits were just swinging everywhere. She's walking with her cart. She would talk to herself, and if you try to show her any love or support, you know, she would rebuke you and just spew hatred towards you. And when I watched that Angry MGTOW video, I realized, man, this bitch probably been ran through a couple of times. Probably got herpes, might have HIV from being raped by homeless men. You know, because they have no defense, they're powerless. And when things like this can happen to a woman, it leaves her traumatized. Literally, it changes her. You know, you see ghetto gaggers and these, you know, that shit's about to be a real deal, and it's going to be intensified, because some of these guys are going to be raping these chicks and killing them, you know, because that's just what's going to be happening. You know, the love is not going to be here in this place. And you're going to have to learn how to be cold, and have to learn how to, it's not going to be a time for love. There's a time for love, and there's a time for hate. There's a time for peace, and there's a time for war. That day it's going to be a time for for hate and for war. Peace and love ain't gonna be none of that, you know, and that's even written, you know. But you're gonna see a lot of women out here fucked up in the head, man. You know, STDs are gonna, oh man, you already know she has the highest STD rate amongst all women. She tried to blame it on the men, but you know, the black man has lower STD rates than her. So it's just because she's a fucking hoe. It's just because she's a hoe. And what's going to happen is she's going to be made a hoe. She's going to be forced to be a hoe, man. And it's going to be under the brutality and under the very little mercies of men around her. And she's already not around her own men. And a lot of her own men are going to die in that time. A lot of these effeminate ass black men and these fucking, you know, thugs and shit, they're not gonna make it because they think it's individuals. They don't have no planning. They were never taught the various arts of war. They don't, you know, there's no organization there. So they're gonna get ran through by these militaries, man. You know? And it's just gonna be the BAW, and she's gonna be fucking, and a lot of white women too. And the sad thing is, a lot of these police, it's gonna be so hectic out here, y'all. STDs are going to go run rampant. In that day, I don't even think I'm going to be too interested in dealing with women at all, really. You know, because the STDs are going to be, it might be some new shit out. You know, you had the super gonorrhea in Asia. You know, it's going to be some new shit out. This motherfucking bitch is going to be having the monkey for real. Because niggas going to take it how they want it. And that's just the truth. Not even just black men, white men, Asian men, Arab men, whoever the fuck wants to fuck this bitch and beat the shit out of her and have their way with her, they're gonna do it. And they're already doing it. I remember in New York, that cop that was raping that little underage girl. Come on now, let's stop lying to ourselves. Let's be real here in the black community. Let's be real here in the black manosphere. It's not gonna be good for our women and our daughters out this motherfucker, man. They butt naked. Literally. All pun included. Because that's how they're carrying themselves. And it's going to come back to where, you know, how they call you thirsty now, you know, for even saying hi to them or whatever. And even though even though they are walking thirst traps, trying to trap a particular echelon of man, which is like chasing her own tail because she'll never catch him. You know, he might fuck her, but she's not going to lock him down because he knows better. You know, but she chases certain echelon of men, and anybody else who approaches her outside of this particular bait that she's going for, she disrespects and rejects and calls him thirsty. Even though you're walking outside half naked, I see your titties and your nipples through your shirt. I see your underwears and your thong through your leggings. You know, and I'm complaining for righteousness' sake, but you know, I'm really not complaining because, hey, I'm a man first. I like it, but I don't like it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, man, we better than that. Our woman should be better than that. But this sexual, hypersexual nature of our woman is going to turn back and bite her in her ass. She thinks her seduction and her sexuality is going to be used for the manipulation and empowerment of herself through the strength of other men, but what's really going to happen is she's just going to get used and abused, and these other men are either going to kill her, make her a sex slave, or, you know, if famine's real bad, they might just kill the bitch and eat her, man. You know, that booty real big, you know, they might look at that like some damn food, yo. This is serious, man. You know, it's gonna look like a big juicy ham hock to these motherfuckers out here if they ain't eating like a week. You know, this is just what it's gonna be. The cannibalism is gonna be going on. You know, it's not going to be good for this bitch. Now, granted, we all know that a lot of these militants are sodomites, because that's what they was doing in the war in Iraq. You know, they was going over there and raping these boys, you know, fucking them all in their ass, you know, in front of their mothers and stuff like that, because they're sodomites. So yeah, a lot of these soldiers, you know, French soldiers and UN soldiers, even Americans, man, are going to be trying to sodomize the men, but there's one upper hand that a man has versus a woman. A man can fight back. A man has the strength of a man to fight, to try. A woman don't got, man. She's fucked. Literally. All pun intended. This bitch is fucked. There's nothing she can do. Absolutely nothing. And a lot of these soldiers and UN soldiers and Gurkha troops and martial law troops and, you know, black ice, people who are similar to black ice contractors, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna, excuse me, I keep calling it black ice. What the fuck? Black water. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm probably like, what the fuck are you talking about? Black ice, black water. Contractors like them, you know, they're gonna be running up in these houses, man, clearing houses, spoiling homes. Wives are gonna be ravished. Even some places with the covering of a man. You might have a woman who's in that, you know, that nice looking MILF, black mother, you know, and she might have a teenage son, you know. He's probably going to get killed and sodomized right along with it, you know, sodomized and killed, and then they're going to, or they might tie him up. Man, people are brutal, man. These other nations are not going to play no games over here. They might rape and sodomize him, and after they sodomize his mother, you know what I'm saying? A lot of these black women, man, this is going to be bad for them, yo. It's going to be real bad for them. A lot of them are going to resort to eating their children, to eating the fruits of their own womb, you know. A lot of them are going to be killing their children because they're not going to be able to handle the stress of hungry children who haven't eaten in days. And unfortunately, they're going to be rejected by most men, because most men we don't want fucking ran through women. They don't get it. For some odd reason, a woman thinks that she's just as, and it's sad, because you still see that 40-year-old woman who's still trying to be sexy, stomach all fucking flabbing over, still trying to wear that tight dress, still trying to show some sexuality. Humble yourself. You know what I mean? You're done. You're done. You're used up. You know, men don't desire used up vagina, man. Not no real men. Naturally, you know, a man's supposed to have a virgin. The more virginal a woman is, the better. And our women are far from virginal, man. So a lot of guys, and with that, you know, you are, like I said earlier, STDs are going to be booming out the roof, man. Dudes ain't going to be trying to get burnt, trying to fuck, you know, a bitch because the way she look. You know, a lot of these women's pussies is blown out, man. You know, from so much dick they've been taking, and, you know, these big crazy sex toys they've been fucking with, you know. So a lot of them, man, you know, it's not going to be no good for them, yo. These soldiers are going to be raping them and, You know, they're gonna realize within, 10 seconds that pussy is gonna be wide open, gobbling up air pockets and shit like that. Then they're just gonna straight up go for this bitch's asshole. And they're gonna start raping this bitch in her ass. They're gonna be sodomizing these women. Yo, come on now. Be real, be logical. I know it's like, oh, that's so graphic, that's fucked up, but it's the truth. It is the fucking truth. And I think that's why a lot of people enjoy my content. I just say it how it is. It's not by coincidence that, I put the raw in my shit, because I'm trying to keep it raw and transparent here. This is what's going to be going on. These black women are going to be sodomized because, their vaginas ain't no good. Because they've been ran through by so many dicks and ravished up their vagina with so many extra large toys. And, and they just ravished their vaginas, man. And they done pushed so many fucking babies out of them. And it's just the truth, man. And it's, hey, it is what it is. But, a lot of our women are going to be getting sodomized by these uncircumcised heathens, man. These stinky motherfuckers. Like, that's what it's going to be like. There might not be no running water in some areas. Probably no electricity, man. And God, these bitches are going to be rancid out here, man. They're going to be smelling like cum dump salmon cakes, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, not even salmon. At least salmon has some type of pleasant smell to it. They're going to smell like rotten fucking... Like you ever been to the wharf where there's, they sell crabs and shrimps and shit? But that odor from the dumpster, from all the dead crabs they tossed out, that odor whenever the bees breeze, bros, you smell that rotten fucking crab, shellfish fucking smell. They're gonna be smelling like that shit from all the semen specimens within them. Out here rocking back and forth somewhere on a curb, losing their fucking minds, talking to themselves. It's not gonna be hard to tell which women out here are gonna be abused or have been abused or sexually violated, man. Sexual assault is gonna skyrocket. Oh yeah, domestic violence is going to skyrocket. The only thing really saving this woman now, and I'm not even gonna say it's really saving her, because every time you go online, somebody's putting a foot up her ass because of her behavior. So I'm not even gonna say the system is saving her now, but it damn sure ain't gonna do no good for her. They're gonna have to figure it out the hard way. They're not gonna say, wait a minute, let me start respecting my man, or let me start being respectful because the system is falling. No. They're going to continue being a difficult bitch until some get put to death and some get the dog shit beat out of. There's going to be bitches out here with teeth missing, man, in that day. There's going to be women out here with closed eyes, teeth missing, split lips, man. Lips split. Blood all over their clothes. There's going to be women out here fucked up. They're going to be down bad out this joint, man. Because those are going to be the ones who have to learn the hard way. And you can call unfair. You can call, oh, that's fucked up. But you know what? It's reality. It's reality. That's why these foreigners come over here and they're not playing with this black bitch. Because everywhere else in the world, there's a specific, there's a specific line of conduct that she's not supposed to cross. There's a certain way she's supposed to carry herself. That's why they go off on her and be kicking her ass. When she walks out of that nail salon without paying for her nails and paying for the service, they locking the doors on her and beating her with broomsticks and mop sticks and shit, man. They're not playing with her, man. The only ones who's still playing with the BAW is the black man, still simping for this bitch. But she makes it very clear that she does not want you or fuck with you. Because she always hold over your head what she can do to fuck you up. And most of the time, she actually does it and actually does fuck you up. Whether it's calling 911 and you got that assault charge and now you can't own a firearm because you have a violent misdemeanor, whether you got put on child support and you're giving up all your fucking check and you're barely trying to scrape, but she's living like a fucking kingpin, and don't gotta work if she don't want to, getting extorted out your money, whether like Philando Castile, man, whether you get pulled over and your fucking woman opens her mouth like, oh, he has a gun, but he has the paperwork, just her being a fucking idiot can get you killed. Women are supposed to be silent, man. A silent wife is a gift from the Lord, and it's for a reason. And a man who holds his tongue is even counted as wise. So that goes for both men and women. But, in that day, she's definitely going to have to learn the hard way of where she lands on the food chain. And, in that day, that's when we're really going to see the Isaiah 4:1, when women ain't going to care, if you got a woman or not. That bullshit monogamy is going to be out the window. It's going to be bad. So she's going to be she's gonna be dealing with a lot of real shit, man. Like, here's another one. I don't know if y'all seen that movie Hush off of Netflix. I happened to check that out the other day with the deaf. Was she deaf or was she mute? I think she was mute. This mute white lady who was living like in the woods in this cabin house, and this fucking crazy ass white dude was trying to kill this bitch. He was trying to break in the house and kill her. He broke her hands. Like, man, watch that shit. That's going to be the reality for a lot of women. That one guy that fucking, you denied or rejected, or a guy who just knows who you are, who sees you walking out your house to, dressed like a whore on your way to work and shit like that. This guy's out here waiting to fuck you up. This dude's out here waiting for the shit to hit the fan so they can come out here and ravish a woman. And this is just the truth. This is just the truth. Do I condone it? No, not at all. But it's the raw and it's the real. This dude's out here waiting for the system to fall so they can come out here and have a free-for-all on all this fucking non-virginal whore, selective whore pussy. And the thing is, the woman won't be able to choose no more. She's not gonna have the power of selection. She's gonna be the one selected, unfortunately. Probably by more than one man at the same time, yo. And it will not be for, man, look at the UN troops, man, in fucking Haiti. I was watching a video where they said the French soldiers in Haiti was made this girl perform oral sex on a fucking dog, man, for water and cookies, yo. Come on, dog. The little small necessities, like, a little baby size travel toothpaste that you get from like a gas station. Bitches gonna be out here sucking dick for that, man. They're gonna be out here bending over for that. For the little thin bar of hotel soap, that little stupid ass thin bar of like unscented hotel soap, yo. Bitches they're gonna be taxing that pussy for that. I don't want that rotten fucking pussy, but a lot of men, hey, that's the reality of it. That's how it's gonna be. The only thing that she can barter is can she barter her physical protection? No, because the man protects the woman. She can't do shit. She's weak. Can she barter her intelligence and think of some type of intelligent plan to get past the state lines? Oh yeah, it's nothing. They're gonna shut down state borders and lines in regions. People won't be able to leave their cities, man. It's gonna be bad. It's like every city is going to be quarantined within itself, and the troops are going to run through that motherfucker, man. But like I was saying earlier, what can she barter? What does she have other than pleasure, sexual pleasure? Nothing. She's going to be exploited for that shit. She's going to have to work that pussy for every little thing that she needs. She's going to have to work that nasty snatch, man. That stinky fucking snatch, man. She's going to have to work that shit, yo. You think these fucking third world fucking country militants that are hired by the U.S. government for that day and time, do you think they're going to care about a little stench? Hell nah, man. They woman over there stinking like a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, that's a little bias, I ain't gonna take it back, but that is a little biased. But I do know some cultures, they don't believe in deodorant. They don't believe in soap. They rinse off with hot water and that be it, so a lot, but it is what it is, yo. But it's not gonna be good for the BAW. And it's not gonna be good at all, man. It's not. But I think I've done enough ranting on this particular subject. Thanks for tuning in to another dialogue with the Wrol, the Real, and the Red Pill. Hopefully, just riding to work or, making your moves, taking your morning walk or whatever the case is and enjoying the content, man. It really means a lot that I can sit down and talk to other brethren who can, kind of see where I'm coming from, and we can get shit off our chests out here in this manosphere, man. But definitely salute and salutations to all my Ibmor brethren. And I might make a part 2 to this, but for now, this is going to be it, and Shalom.